Hello, this is Ernest Burley Jr., your certified financial planner, your chartered financial consultant, your NFLPA registered player financial advisor. As a matter of fact, I just got off the phone with someone who's referring their relative to me. He made it into the league. Hey, I'm an NFLPA registered player financial advisor. Looking forward to helping the guys out in the NFL, with their finances if they need that. I'm also an investment advisor representative. I hold the Series 6, 63, and 7. Those are securities licenses that allow me to offer financial services, investments, and things of that nature to clients. I'm also the author of 2 books on money management. Money Management, Easy as 1, 2, 3, and Money Management from Grade School to Grad School. Those books are on Amazon and other sites out there, and they're being used across the country to teach financial principles, money management principles, even some insurance concepts to individuals, children, youth, and adults. So you can teach a class from the books. You can have me do like a workshop or what have you, however you want to do that. I'd be more than happy to do it. But what I want you to do is go on to Amazon and buy all the books out so they have to order more from my publisher. Okay, that I appreciate those who have already done it. And I thank you in advance for those who will go on to Amazon and buy these books out. Money Management Easy as 1, 2, 3, and Money Management from Grade School to Grad School. I'm also a licensed insurance agent with over 30 years experience in the industry, and I've been in business for over 25 years helping clients with financial services and insurance, helping them in their families, okay? I have clients all over the country, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. So state lines don't constrict or refine or define or Burley Insurance and Financial Services as far as being able to help clients across the country. Okay. Now, I specialize in wealth management, so like investing, IRAs, portfolio management, things of that nature. Also, asset protection, so protecting what you have accumulated, as well as asset growth, so growing in a strategic fashion, which you are planning to have your nest egg down the line or for whatever purpose you have down the line, right? Financial planning, whether it be comprehensive financial planning or basic financial planning. And also insurance, all different types of insurance, whether it be life insurance, long-term care, homeowners, auto, business policies, church policies, contractors, disability, all different types of insurance, okay? So that's it on that. Now, also athlete management. So my firm also offers athlete management. Are someone calling in? That's one of my team members got you, okay? So also athlete management. So NFLPA, I'm an NFLPA registered player financial advisor on the NFL side, and on the NBA side, I'm an NBPA certified player agent. So I can connect players to basketball teams, NBA teams, and also overseas teams to help them try to fulfill their dream of being a professional basketball player. All right. So the purpose of this podcast is to educate, enlighten, and empower you with clear, objective, concise information, unbiased information to help you and your family, your church, your coworkers, whomever, make some good decisions to help them out in life. That's what this podcast is all about, to give you good information to help you out going forward. Okay. So here today's podcast is going to be pretty short too. Okay. So today's podcast is titled Final Expense Life Insurance. Okay. Final Expense Life Insurance. Now, it's the norm for people not to want to talk about life insurance. I get that. I don't mind answering questions and also speaking about it because it's part of my profession and I know people really need it. I'm asked to speak on this topic quite often, life insurance, in addition to other topics, investing, budgeting, planning, things of that nature. But life insurance is a very popular theme where people want me to talk about or explain life insurance to their individuals, whether it be a church or whether it be a group, for one reason or another, okay? Now, as a certified financial planner, a professional financial advisor, licensed insurance agent, this is part of what I do. I give advice on managing money, so budgeting, investing, saving, planning, things of that nature, also protecting money, whether it be, how much cash to keep in the bank, annuities, life insurance, or protecting families, which includes all of that, right? It includes budgeting, investing, saving, life insurance, keeping the right amount of cash, planning. So my occupation in the expertise that I've been blessed to have, it kind of puts me in that realm of saying, okay, you got to talk about life insurance, you got to talk about investing, you got to talk about all these different topics. So life insurance is one of them. I don't shy away from it. I'm very comfortable answering questions like that. So here we go. Now, I've had a lot of different inquiries on final expense life insurance lately. So let's talk about it. I like to talk about things that come up currently and things that I kind of think are things out there or topics that people are having conversations about or having questions about. So this has come up quite a lot in the past several months where people are asking me about final expense life insurance policies, not just here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, but various areas across the country. I have people calling in or referred to me to ask about that. Okay. So now here you go. Final expense policies. They're called final expense policies because they're tailored to pay for a person's final expenses, right? Basically your burial costs. So your funeral, repast, burial plot, things of that nature. So they're tailored to just pay for those particular expenses. That's why they're called final expense policies. They normally are small face value policies. The face value means the amount of coverage of the policy, basically. So a $15,000 policy has a face value of $15,000. That's all face value means. So they're normally small policies like $10,000 or $15,000. And some people, that's all they want. They just want a small policy, and the terminology is out there. I just want enough to put me in the ground, right? So either to put them in the ground or a parent or a relative or whoever they're getting the policy for, they just want enough to put that person in the ground and pay for the expenses that surround that event. But a lot of people, like as a matter of fact, the last person I spoke to, a lot of people, they want more coverage than that. They want more protection than just enough to put the person, the loved one, in the ground. They're saying, hey, I want more. I've had people say, I want 100,000 to 50,000 because they want additional funds for miscellaneous, for heirs, right? For heirs, and also for miscellaneous expenses that may arise and more than likely will arise. So like helping the family get there to the event. Sometimes families have financial issues and they can't get to the funeral even though they want to get there. So sometimes people want to help with that. Settling the estate, that costs some money. That's a whole situation in and of itself. Leaving some money for children or grandchildren or whatever, different reasons for people wanting more coverage than just enough to bury a person, right? So here we go. The plans are usually a form of whole life insurance. But beware of the type of insurance, the type and the term, the type whether it's whole life or term. I mean, you can get a term policy and call it a final expense policy, but that's not in your best interest. I would not recommend a term policy be your final expense policy because term policies don't last indefinitely. You want a permanent plan of insurance. Term eventually is going to terminate. It's going to run out. And actually the premium is going to increase down the line anyway to make it unaffordable. So you want to know the type of plan and also the terms of the plan. What's the conditions for payout, right? So that's another big one. So we're going to talk about these final expense plans that say, hey, they're guarantee issue and you can't be turned down. Well, that's because they have conditions on the payment. Those type of plans, conditions on the payout. Those type of plans normally have three things that you got to really pay attention. It's normally going to be a high premium. It's going to be a low benefit amount, right? A low face value. And there's going to be conditions on paying out. It's going to be accidental death for the first 2 to 3 years, which what I mean by that is if you pass by any illness, sickness, or disease during the first 2 to 3 years, those plans will not pay the benefit. They'll just pay the premiums you pay plus an interest rate. Okay. A lot of people don't know that, right? So you want to, when that commercial comes on, I want you to pause the TV, get out your magnifying glass and read that small print at the bottom because there's normally small print at the bottom disclosing that information, but people never read it. It's basically going to pay out only for accidental death during that first 2 to 3 years versus any sickness, illness, or disease. So you got to be careful about that. So ideally, you want a permanent plan of insurance, like whole life or guaranteed universal life with normal underwriting that's going to last for life and have no special conditions on payout. Now, if you don't qualify for that type of plan, normal underwriting, then you have to go for the guarantee issue plan. I get it. And that's not a bad thing, but you have to realize what you have, right? You basically have a plan that's not going to pay for any illness, sickness, or disease, any death by those causes during the first 2 years or 3 years, depending on the company. But if you go past that, then it will pay out. Versus if you have a normal policy with normal underwriting, if you get the policy this week and pass next week, it's going to pay that benefit to your beneficiaries next week, right? Because of that passing. So just know what you have. Know what you have. Final expense policies normally have a small face value, normally just pay for the burial expenses. That's what they're tailored to, a small face value, not a large face value. But you can get you can call that policy your final expense policy, or for your loved one or whomever, and you can get the amount of coverage that you want on it. Ideally, you want to go through normal underwriting and not have a guarantee issue policy because, like I said, higher premium, lower face value, and you have that condition of the payout. Okay, and that's it for today's today's podcast. Final expense life insurance. Okay, and there are more details I can go into, but we're going to keep the podcast short. Okay, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. All right, so I thank you guys for listening. The takeaway is final expense plans here's the big takeaway. They normally have a low face value, and I wouldn't say a high premium because it depends on what kind of final expense plan you get. If you get the final expense plan with no underwriting, no medical underwriting, it sounds great, but those plans normally cost a bit. They're like, oh, it's only $9.99 a month. It's $9.99 per thousand. That's what a lot of people don't think about. So let's just round it to $10. 10 times 10, that's $100 a month for $10,000 of coverage, right? All right, so here we go. That's the major takeaway. That's the recap to know what kind of final expense plan you have, and whether it's going through underwriting versus no medical underwriting guarantee issue. I've already told you the drawbacks about it, but if you can only qualify for that, then that's what you go with, okay? All right, so I thank you guys for listening in every week like you always do. I appreciate you so much. I ask that you share this podcast with others and that you ask them to do the same. Share with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your church members, your employers, everyone across the country, and ask them to do the same thing with their family, friends, coworkers, church members, employers, etc. Okay. Now, all of my podcasts are on YouTube, so please go to my YouTube channel, and I appreciate everyone going to the YouTube channel and subscribing. So the YouTube channel is just under my name, Ernest Burley Jr. Subscribe, and then click through the various podcasts in there, because I talk about everything from infinite banking to whether you should pay off your home early or not, whether you should lease a car versus buy a car, different types of insurance, how to increase your credit score, a beneficiary versus wills and trusts, just all different types of topics are on my YouTube channel. So please go on there, subscribe, and then click around and share that link, share that YouTube channel with others, and ask them to do the same and spread it to all your friends, family members, church members, coworkers, employers, etc. Okay. If you want to reach out to me, connect with me, very easy to do. My email address is ernest@ernestburleyjr.com. So my first name at my full name.com. My phone number, 301-262-2600. Again, that's 301-262-2600. Very easy number to remember. Or you can go to my website. It's just my full name, ernestburley.com or ernestburleyjr.com, whichever you prefer. And you can email me from there. You can click around in my website too. I have a lot of very useful links and a lot of helpful information on my website also. All right, so there you go. That's it for today's podcast. Since I did mention me being a financial advisor and all that other good stuff, securities information, I do have to give my disclosure. So here we go. There's the disclosure. Burley Insurance and Financial Services, Inc., 13621 Annapolis Road, Bowie, Maryland, 20720. That's where my firm is located, outside of Washington, D.C. and Bowie, Maryland, but I have clients all over the country. All right, securities and investment advisory services offered through Next Financial Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Burley Insurance and Financial Services, Inc. is not an affiliate of Next Financial Group, Inc. This material is not intended as an offer or solicitation for the purchase or sale of any instrument. Past performance does not guarantee future performance. All the views expressed are those of Ernest Burley Jr., moi, and Burley Insurance and Financial Services, Inc., and not those of Next Financial Group, Inc. Next Financial Group, Inc. does not provide tax advice. That's it for today's podcast. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I ask that you share it with others. Hey, until next time, y'all take care. Y'all be safe out there.